Blessings. Our last video, we discussed the damage of overthinking. I used to think that when a loved one was giving me a positive and constructive feedback, that I felt attacked. Remember, perspective is everything. And there is always two sides to everything. In this video, we want to discuss overcoming underthinking and another power tool that's going to help you to dismiss both of them is reframing. So let's talk about underthinking. Underthinking is the complete opposite almost of overthinking. It's failing to even consider any of the options, which is just as destructive as overthinking because it's debilitating. And this could create a state of stagnation for you. It prevents you from walking fully into your purpose. So we don't want to underthink either. We want to make sure that we are thinking in a way that's going to help us propel forward. Dr. Dharius Daniels states underthinking is a fixed mindset, causing you not to see more or beyond where you are. Imagine having your feet like in cement and it causes you to be immobilized. Well, that's kind of like if you could think that about your mind is locked up. You're stuck in like one place. So just because overthinking is like stuck on a thought, underthinking is really stuck in a mindset. So both can cause havoc to your mental well-being. And so in this video, we want to talk about how you're going to overcome. So how do we begin to change it? As we talked about in the previous video, your first power tool was to acknowledge it, state it out loud, and even you can ask a trusted friend to describe if that's you. Do you do that, right? So that you acknowledge and you are aware of it. Remember, you have to be consciously and be able to say, I am about to get off this merry-go-round when you're talking about overthinking. You literally have to acknowledge it. The same with underthinking. You want to acknowledge that you're thinking in a fixed place. And so the next power tool I wanted to share with you, and which I truly love, is reframing it for both of them. I love this power tool because it gives you authority. It gives you ability to change. Remember, Romans 12:2 tells us we want to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. This is what reframing is really about. It's about taking a new look at something that you saw and something that you looked at that was old. When I learned about reframing, my thinking pattern went to the next level. And you know, it is always stated, you go to the next level head first. And so when you change your mind, your feet are gonna follow. So reframing your thoughts takes a lot of intentionality and it takes time, but it can be done. And so one thing that is really powerful is our brains have the ability to do this already. It's what scientists call neuroplasticity. It's the reframing of your brain. It's your brain's ability to essentially rewire how you think about something. So instead of you thinking of the negative impacts of something, you have the benefit of reframing it and think of the benefits and the positive parts of it. It takes, for example, what you would think as a loss, you would reframe it and think of it as a lesson. So it takes a reframing. For example, Say you had a conversation with a loved one, and instead of thinking it was a failure or you never got anything, you can think differently about it by saying, well, it was good that you all got a chance to put it out in the open. Or you could reframe it and think of it as the conversation happened. It's better that it happened now than later. Another way of reframing is maybe you learned something about that person on how you can love them better, or even vice versa. So you seek to see another side of it, to reframe it so that it has the benefits versus something negative. Another thing that you really want to consider with regards to your reframing is that you don't have to let any thoughts go through your head and land. You don't have to consider the thought when it comes through. Martin Luther said, you can keep birds from flying over your head. You can't prevent that, but you can prevent them from building a nest on your head. You can't keep the devil from suggesting thoughts, but you surely can choose not to dwell or act on those thoughts. So remember, you are tending to your thoughts. You're not letting them go free, which means you are a gatekeeper of your mind. Anybody and everybody cannot walk over into the FBI office or building. You need a badge or some type of approval to get through the gates, right? The same thing applies when we think about our brains. Our brains are we have to protect our brains at all cost. It is part of our ear gates and eye gates, which is so important. So one of the ways you can do this as well is you can sift it through Philippians 4:8, which says, brother, rest on whatever is true, whatever is worthy of reference, whatever is honorable, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is kind, whatever is winsome and gracious. If there's any excellent virtue in it, think on these things, anything that is praiseworthy. Think of all weight and these account of these things and fix your mind on them. Philippians 4:8 is an excellent way for us to sift our thoughts. So kind of what would that look like? So say a negative thought comes through your mind. For example, you're a failure, right? So the first thing you're going to do, Philippians 4, is it true? Is the thought true? No, you're not a failure. You are made in God's image. Maybe it didn't go as you planned, but you learned from something from it. So is it true? No, it's not. You sift it, dismiss it, let it go. Now say it is, something happens in your mind and it is true. The next one is the sift is worthy of honor. And usually it is nothing that is worthy of honor except anything that is pertaining to our Heavenly Father. So as you continue to sift through out of Philippians, there's a total of 8 levels in Philippians. And eventually you're going to either dismiss it or you are going to claim that it's not true because it gives you a way to sift the thoughts that come through your mind. So a new start, I like that it's 8 levels because 8, I don't know if you know, is the number of new beginnings. And so you are a new creation and you're going to have a new way of thinking. So you can control how you think and you can choose it. Dr. Miles Monroe says, nothing changes until your mind changes. And so I'm going to believe that. When you open your mind, you open the doors to new opportunities and a new way of life. Again, if this has helped you in any way encouraged you, share it with a friend, share it with your loved ones. And I ask that you subscribe because we've got more transformational and encouragement for you to look through. Also, I want to encourage you to go out to my website. I have, the link is in the comments. I have a myriad of free resources for you that talks about not only the way you're thinking and your mindset, but also about forgiveness and emotional intelligence. And please remember, I am here to serve you. I want to help you think better so that you see better, you feel better, and your relationships get better. God bless you, and let's go.